Yes, everyone, welcome back to XG Files. I'm here with Dre because, for those who don't know, Ronaldo every other week takes the day off and then spends the whole day getting his hair done. And I wish I was joking. And actually,
it's actually true, 100% true.
Some of the times it's not even getting his hair done; it's just getting his beard done.
And
I'm not even joking.
He was saying yesterday, I don't really take holiday, so I might as well just take a day off and get my hair done.
He's
got a point.
That's what he does.
But up to you what you think of that.
Anyway, right, today we're going to be talking, it's international break, so we are going to cover a little bit of what's going on in international football. And we are majorly going to be digging into who are the mystery bidders. Now, I don't have the information on who those mystery bidders are, but going off the video that Tony and Kieran did on Webby O'Neill, I think it's just a little bit of fun. Let's have a look at who those potential guys could be. We've got the out there ones.
Exactly.
And we've got the ones that actually might have a little bit of something to it.
We're just going to have a bit of fun with it. Like you said, some of them are serious, some of them a bit out there, but let's just look at them all.
Yeah. So we're going to get into those, and then if there's anyone else that you guys think, let us know in the comments and all the rest of that sort of stuff, and we'll get into the mixer. So, international break. Christian Eriksen scored an absolute banger.
He did.
Joe's just told me that Scott McTominay played well. I'm not going to watch Scotland, so...
If I watched international football, I'd have more to say on these things. I did see the goal, and I did hear those
I'm going to watch
things.
England tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll follow Italy, so says the guy sat in England wearing an island top, saying he follows Italy. Got connections to them all. It's international football. Don't kill me. But yeah, I think I'm going to watch England-Italy tonight. But I did actually see that Eriksen goal. It was a very good goal.
I'd like to see him getting into those advanced positions more for United because he's got that in his locker all day long.
That's what I mean. But do you know the first thing I thought when I saw that goal is how much space he had.
Yeah.
And that's just a reflection of international football.
It's shit, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? It was a great goal, but so much space.
Speaking of football that is a lower level than the Premier League, we do have a game this weekend. Someone's just asked in the comments there. Do Paddock have a game this weekend? We do, and I've got a little bit of breaking news for you. The lads are calling it redemption. I don't know if I'd go that giddy yet, but we've just been drawn in the Manchester Challenge Trophy, which is like the Manchester County Cup. It's a fucking massive deal. We lost in the quarterfinals. One of the best performances we had last season. Somehow found ourselves 3-0 down in 15 minutes when they'd had 3 shots and we'd had about 15. Doing it just one of those days.
Football.
We ended up going out, lost 3-2. It was a brilliant performance, though. One of the best spirit and performances I've ever seen from us against Denton. They've just drawn us now. First round, Denton.
There you go.
That's next weekend, next Saturday. So that's going to be an
isn't
absolute banger of a game. But tomorrow we're playing Mersey Valley, who we drew 2-2 with, had 35 shots. So
got to put that right tomorrow, sure.
We will be putting that right tomorrow. So 3 o'clock, free entry. It's at Manchester Education or Enterprise Academy. Sorry, if you're in the area, come down. There's no good football to watch. There's only international football to watch. So you might as well come and watch us.
It's all in the evening anyway. Come down. We'll be here. We'll be there.
Free entry. I don't know what the weather's like tomorrow.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bring an
umbrella because there's every chance. There's also some news that I'm not sure on, to be honest.
Go on, what is it?
Saka.
Look, who cares, first of all, who
How many
England
games have they even
player
had
of
in
the
the last
year?
12 months?
Well, I was having a look at Bukayo Saka's England stats. So this was for the season 21-22, okay? He played 38 games, 11 goals.
I don't think it goes on that, does it?
Oh
Doesn't
my
it
God,
go on what
I'm being
you
an
do
idiot.
as an international?
Sorry, they were wrong. That was wrong. He's actually only played 9 games for England in that time period, and he scored 3 goals and 1 assist. I just don't get like why they need to do a Player of the Year for England in the seasons 21-22. Who cares?
How many games did he have? Oh, 5, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
It's literally like getting a Player of the Month.
Yeah, and
they've had that many. They've had less. They played more games next month than they're playing in that.
And it's funny because there's a 2nd and 3rd place as well. Producer Chris thought 3rd place Harry Kane. He misheard it and he thought it was Harry Maguire. That would have been quite funny, but it's Harry Kane. But yeah, if anyone's interested, Bukayo Saka is England's Player of the Year for the seasons 21-22. Declan Rice is 2nd and Harry Kane is 3rd. Steve, do you care?
What a shit list. Like, what are you basing this on? It's literally like an overblown Player of the Month award for an international. Honestly.
It's just a social media post, isn't it?
And England make it so hard to follow them. Like, this group and the Euros last year was entertaining, and it was... It did sort of take away a lot of that sort of Manchester United fan sort of framing of what it's like watching England, where I just hate them. They took away a lot of that last year.
And what do you think that was down to?
I'm not sure what it was down to, but maybe it was down to how non-competitive the players were within the group, if that makes sense. Whereas you speak to United players when United was successful and they used to sit alone and like give everyone daggers.
Yeah, there's less hateable players in that squad, isn't there?
Less hateable players in the squad, but the manager is a wedge. Isn't it?
Look, I think with Southgate, if England, I feel like he's done everything he can, and I know he's done well. I know he's got England to a semi-final of a World Cup. I know he's got England to the final of the Euros, but I just don't think he can do any more with this squad. I feel like you need a top manager now
the World Cup,
to
right?
do more with
they
it.
beat no one,
I know, yeah.
and the first hard game they had, they lost. Euros, I'll give them this. They beat Germany. Now that was a game that there was an underdog for, and they actually went and won it. And I think that's fair. You got to give them the credit. Outside of that, they beat no one, right? So he's won one game in what's going to be 3 international tournaments and everything in between, where you was maybe the underdog. Because that's the problem with international qualifying. How often do England go 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 in qualifying? Very, 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 very often.
True.
It's not fit for purpose. It's shit.
They do have the only positive is at least they have the same manager going into the 3rd tournament. At least there's a bit of stability there.
Who gives a shit about stability? Get me someone that's got a bit of balls. This is the tournament. Who wins tournaments by being pragmatic? Greece aside, you don't. Portugal aside. World Cups and international tournaments are about go and capture the spirit. Do you know what you want? You want like a Harry Redknapp or someone in there.
Really?
That's what you want.
I tell you what, if Big Sam
would have won something with his England team, yeah. Because he knows how to be that guy. What Southgate ever
knows
done?
how to win things?
Southgate's whole managerial career up to this point was like a 33 win % with Middlesbrough.
I think the thing with Southgate, I always feel like he's one of those people who's just like, he's at home and he's like thinking of, because you know, every time you get to a tournament, you think, what's the best England squad? And obviously you have so many options. Think about
the guy's just picked 12 defenders and 5 midfielders, which one of them he's just lost. So he's got 4 midfielders and 12 defenders. That doesn't tell you what his whole philosophy is.
And I just feel like he's kind of the guy who's just going to sit at home and overthink it and then end up just picking a team where you're a bit like, oh.
Super chat there from James Woods. Am I going to tell everyone about the Maguire thing? No, not yet.
Okay. Well, should we have a look?
Some people kind of know, I think, anyway.
Some of these potential Manchester United buyers / bidders / previous bidders.
Let's start with a stupid.
Right. Elon
Michael
Musk.
Knighton.
Which is more stupid. Go on. You take the lead with Michael Knighton because I know you got some things to say, or not.
I think it was just a bluff from minute one.
Yeah?
That's my thoughts on it.
Do you think his
I don't think anyone that's
intentions are in the right
serious comes out and goes, I'm buying Manchester United.
Yeah.
And they've tried to backtrack this now because there was another video came out with the title like, he is not buying Manchester United. But the first video he did was, we have got a consortium. The paperwork is in, the money is there, pledged, I think was the word he said, and the documents are being drawn up. No, it's not. Right.
I'll tell you what, saying consortiums, let's...
the next one.
The next one. Let's because you mentioned consortiums, let's look at what was on Webby and O'Neill's channel a few days ago.
Yeah, so if you didn't see the video that I did the other day talking about this, and Scott Harrop says, is the Manchester Enterprise Academy in Wivenshaw? Yes, it is. So that's where we're playing tomorrow. 3 o'clock kickoff, free entry. So yeah, on Webby and O'Neill, what they said was, there is a consortium, and someone from that consortium or a representative of that consortium has approached Tony and given him a little bit of the info about what's going down. They're looking at trying to buy 26% that they would like to raise to 51%. The cost of that 26% is approximately 1 billion. The Glazers have asked for proof of funds. That's been provided. And that's pretty much, I think they said there was 5.
Said there was 5, yeah.
And some of them are United fans. A few of
Yeah.
them are United fans, I think was the exact wording. Okay, so there's probably some sort of a consortium that's looking to do this. Now, my gut instinct is whether or not that's real, I'm going to take it at face value and suggest it is. I think that if the club actually comes up for sale, you have the Chelsea situation where there's 30 competing consortiums, including me and you, just like throw a bid in and we'll try and figure it out afterwards. So let's pretend that that's real, that's happening, and all the rest of that sort of stuff. Supposedly some sort of an ex-player involved.
Yeah.
Who would be the dream ex-player to be involved?
Well, I reckon it's Eric Cantona.
Oh my God, Like, I might never buy another pair of pants.
I think it might be Eric Cantona because he's that kind of guy, isn't he? He's that kind of guy. He's a bit different.
Don't tease me.
What was he? Didn't he do something like a couple of years ago? He backed some sort of like campaign that was to do with selling the club.
He's always been.
What was it?
He gave a lot of love to FC United in the campaign that was going on with that. And there's another super chat here from James Wood. He goes, "Can I just say I'm being really serious with my 449 super chat on YouTube? I'm buying Manchester United. Any difference between this and Knighton? Apart from the fact you've actually spent some money, yes, that's the difference." I went to an audience with Cantona.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. He was brilliant. And the guy that was being the compare ruined it. Cantona was getting deep into ring fencing certain groups and classifications of tickets for young people and the costing for going to the games about young people. And the guy wasn't listening to him. And the guy was like, okay. Talk to us about Selhurst Park. And you're like, you fucking dick. Talk to him about this. This is groundbreaking shit that he's talking about here. And he was saying that he's tried to pitch things to UEFA to try and do these things. And it was, honestly, I've never seen 1,700 people silenced and just all leaning forward listening to him talk about it.
Was there a few sighs when the questioner guy?
It was pretty frustrating, actually, because a couple of people have been on the piss all day long by the looks of it and were just standing up and singing Cantona songs. So it was a little bit frustrating.
It's like, wait, he's talking about seagulls. Everyone shut up.
Yeah, it's like, why are we asking the questions that every other person that's ever met him has asked? Let's listen to what he thinks about modern football and stuff like that, and his actual philosophies on these things that don't relate to the things. If you listen to read between the lines with stuff like Cantona does. Mm-hmm. Cantona goes, I played football, that part of my life is over, and I think he tolerates the love he gets from fans, because he's a unique character, isn't he? I think he tolerates the adulation and the love. I don't think he likes it. And I think if you ask him about what does he think about the current situation, and I'm not talking about the current United side, 'cause I think he probably gets a bit tired of that as well. But ask him, he's an ideas guy, isn't he? Ask him, like, what would you do? How would you fix the economy of football? You're going to get some gold as answers.
Yeah.
I agree. Cantona, I don't think he's coming in to put money in, but as being the figure, oh my good God.
It's just like, you can't think of anyone else you'd want. Cantona is a guy, he seems like he's on his own spiritual journey. And he's just centered, and he knows what's going on. He's the kind of guy you want in there. So is that your dream guy, Eric Cantona?
Oh, I'd take
Marcus Rocco?
Cantona relegating us.
Marcus Rocco, Fabian Barthez.
Imagine Cantona as a manager.
Yeah. Wow.
Did you see the testimonial game? Scholes' testimonial game.
Yeah, I was there. I remember. I was a kid.
New York Cosmos.
Yeah.
And he's managing. He's got a tie on, but he's not done it up. It's just around his neck. He's got the suit open. The shirt's untucked. He's wearing night blazers. How could you not love this man?
He's a great
hands in
actor
his pockets,
as well.
just standing there, just watching the game. What would his team talks be like? They'd be brilliant.
Emotional.
They'd be brilliant.
Be crying if I was in the
Eric
change room listening
Cantona
to him.
as the CEO of the new corporation of Manchester. Oh my fucking God.
Isn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway.
Literally. So that's the consortium one. Now there's a few.
So yeah, they didn't say there was an ex-player. They said it. They basically just said it's not any of the class of 90s.
Yeah, or like Peter Lim or something.
Yeah.
It seems like they suggested that. Now, what about people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos? Because
Elon Musk only dicked us on Twitter, didn't he?
Exactly. He basically said, "Also, guys, I'm buying Manchester United. You're welcome." Everyone's like, "What?" And then he tweeted like a day later, just saying like, "No, I'm not." But he did say, although if it were any team, it would be Man U. They were my fave team as a kid. So there's something there. There's a glimmer, but his like net worth is like 240 bill.
It's also growing exponentially as well.
Could you imagine it? What would he do?
I wouldn't be necessarily as excited about what he would give us in terms of capital, because I'm sure he could just go buy everyone that you want and improve the stadium to whatever you want. I think the innovation he would demand as an owner. Look at some of the companies he's been involved in and some of the things that they do. He has fun with his companies. Mm-hmm. Like the ludicrous mode on Teslas and some of the features within the Tesla cars.
Yeah.
Like, and how high spec and high end they are. Like he's invented. I don't know if he invented it or his company's invented it. Like solar panel tiles, so they look like regular tiles on your house, but they're also batteries that also hold charge. Like there's some serious innovation coming from him.
I was thinking, imagine what our new training ground would be like if Elon Musk bought the club. It would just look like a spaceship.
He's going to demand excellence, and I think that's something I would absolutely love to see.
Without a doubt. Jeff Bezos is another one, because apparently in 2019, the New York Times were about to publish an article saying that Bezos had submitted a £3.5 billion
I never realised it got
to
that
take
far.
over Manchester United. Yeah, well, they never wrote the article, they never published it, but apparently they were about to. Again, this is the thing with the Glazers. They're so quiet. There's probably been so many people who have gone in and tried to buy the club, but we have never heard anything about it. They just probably just don't answer the phone. Or if they do, they just go, yeah, no, bye. And that's it. And no one ever hears about it. I reckon there's been like some rogue shouts out there that if we found out who's tried to buy Man United in the past, we'd think, whoa.
One of the Medellin cartel.
Just any... Could literally... Imagine the royal family bought Man United. With all that money there.
Well, the amount they've just been left. New fella in charge is a Burnley fan, isn't he?
I say, imagine if Jeff Bezos bought United.
Well, the thing is with Jeff Bezos, right? There's actually an Amazon strategic reason why Jeff Bezos owning Manchester United is not the craziest shout. Now, obviously, he's a seriously wealthy guy. His company is a serious wealthy company that just shits money. And I think every single year, more and more people are buying online. And they changed the game, man. Like, we obviously post merchandise out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it takes a few weeks to reach anywhere. But Amazon fucked the game up for everyone that posts like a normal business. Because Amazon go, oh, you bought some shit, it's on your fucking doorstep, right?
Literally. I went to Sicily with my dad and my brother like a couple of weeks ago, and we were literally in like the most old rogue town in Sicily. It's like on the side of a hill. The roads are just shit. There's like potholes everywhere. Nightmare to drive in. There's still Amazon, there's literally still Amazon vans like coming up and down. And I just thought, how?
Killed it.
How?
I've also been in that Amazon Fresh store at Wembley, where you log in with your, you go to your Amazon.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
You
that.
log
I've seen
in
a
with a
couple of them in
QR
London.
code, and then you just steal everything in the shop and leave, and then it bills you 2 days later.
Yeah, you think you'd like rob the shop.
We was fucking about. It was a whiff.
Impossible.
I can't remember who I'd gone down with. I can't remember. It might have been Abdul, I think I went down with. I can't remember whoever I went down with anyway, but I was like, there's people inside the shop, like staff still. Yeah. And I'm looking at them and being like, putting a bottle of rum down my pants and stuff. And the guy's just cracking up laughing. And he's like, I'm robbing this. And he's like, fine. Like,
how many people do you reckon have done that joke? The bare people out.
Oh, every single, it's not original. Every single person that's gone in the place. But, it's pretty efficient.
Yeah.
Just take everything you want, put it in a bag and leave.
And
it knows somehow. But hang on, I ain't finished on Bezos. So you got to think, Amazon, they're dipping into football with their All or Nothing documentaries. Mm-hmm. They've also got, I'm not sure how many it is, there's a dozen Premier League games that they have.
Yeah.
And their coverage isn't terrible either. And the fact that they've got that on-demand delivery right into your home for live sport is actually pretty epic through the app. And it's pretty flawless. I think if you've got bad internet, maybe it's not. But it's pretty flawless. Mm-hmm. Think about if he actually owned one of the biggest teams within that. He could really change the game in terms of everything that happens in terms of the content delivery side of things, which I think is going to be due a shake-up soon because the prices are mental.
Well, isn't that what Murdoch wanted to buy United for the same reason? Literally the same reason.
Pretty much, but different delivery method, but probably the same thing. Yeah.
It's very, very similar. So that is quite interesting.
There's a chance that actually happens. He would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, he would. Can you imagine as well, like Old Trafford, he just adds big extension on the side. Amazon sorting warehouse.
Trafford, you've seen when we do transfer review, there's literally 900 Amazon vans go past us because they've got a warehouse or a depot on that street, essentially.
What about Conor McGregor?
He's so wild, it wouldn't surprise me if he was chatting shit or telling the truth.
I mean, the only thing is his net worth's about 100 mil. Man United is going to cost about 4 mil.
I think his net worth's a lot more than that, or unless he's tied it all up in because Proper 12 made a shitload of money.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's almost just like...
I think he made $1 billion on Proper 12.
I just think
he's going to fight. He's going to fight Floyd Mayweather again and double that net worth anyway.
I thought he was fighting Deji, the YouTuber.
Who the fuck knows?
What's his
name? I on the brew at 4? Yes, I am.
Conor McGregor's net worth is reported in 2021 $180 million. I mean, look, it's a lot of money, and for me to sit here and go, it's only that. It's
thing
pretty
is as well,
ridiculous. But
Conor McGregor, as any mega famous person is, and he is in the mega famous category, he's got people on speed dial that will lend him the money or be part of his consortium.
Dana White, Joe Rogan.
I think Dana White's literally got that sort of cash after they sold the UFC.
Well, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
He's got cash. Well, apparently. Allegedly. Anyway. Yeah. So, yes or no, Conor McGregor?
I'd have it for the laugh, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Could you imagine the chaos? Imagine United beat Liverpool or something like that, and your owner's on Twitter asking people to suck his balls. Can you imagine how fucking fun that would be?
I can just imagine it be like, fucking hell, I'm getting in the fucking changing room. I'm going to get in there now and give a team talk.
I thought he was Irish, not Australian.
Well, that was a sick impression.
I don't think so.
Jim Radcliffe, let's go serious again. What
was the Henry guy? What was the FSG guy that got on Twitter after says, "What do you think they're smoking there at the Emirates when they tried to buy Suarez?"
Well, what did he say? He said what?
He says, "What do you think they're smoking down at the Emirates?"
Oh, right.
Imagine Conor McGregor on some of his, let's just say, nights out that he has. Some of the shit he would be chatting. Like, for raw entertainment. Like, as long as he puts someone good in charge. Because let's be honest, like, he's a wild card. But Proper 12 was a success, I think, it's fair to say. So the businesses he's gone into, they've been successful. He's just a lunatic. But if he's getting the right people in to make it happen, I would be all about that. If he came in and was like, look, I'm going to get some serious football people in, and I'm just going to rock about wearing a fur coat, let me do my thing, I'd have no dramas with that whatsoever.
And I think you get the balance right as well. Like, he's an Irishman, I'm sure. Like, there's a lot of United fans in Ireland. I'm sure he understands the club, and he knows how serious Manchester United is and the size. There's photos of him
as a kid wearing United stuff like.
Exactly. Should we take it back to someone who's probably a little bit, just slightly more likely to buy Manchester United than Conor McGregor? Jim Ratcliffe.
You can't do one of these videos without that name coming up.
100% not. 100% not. Because, I mean, look, we're having a bit of fun here, but this guy actually could be the man to get.
Well, he's obviously got a football club already in Nice.
Yeah. Ineos as well. Like, they own the Sky cycling team.
Yeah. So he's interested in sports.
Exactly.
He supposedly was one of the main bidders trying to get hold of Chelsea. Like I said, there was 30 odd people came out of the woodwork for that, and I think you can double that for United if United ever became publicly on the market. The Glazers ever just like banged a tweet out or whatever and was like, yeah, go on. Imagine they was like, hey, can we have the password for the main account, please? And it was like, clubs for sale, inbox, blah, 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 with your bids.
Yeah, edit.
That'd be an amazing way to put it on the market, wouldn't it? That you just tweeted it off the official account. Clubs for sale.
Ridiculous.
See if Cam will let me log in.
Oh, yeah. Give him a text.
Hashtag we're finally going.
Could you imagine if someone did that on the United Twitter account? Oh, my God. People
DM was your offer.
Be getting sacked like you've never seen before.
Someone would hire, though. Domino's or someone would hire you straight away.
It'd be the best meme of all time.
That was me.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, like Jim is like a spokesman came out and said that if the club is for sale, Jim is definitely a potential buyer. If something like this was possible, we would be interested in talking with a view long-term ownership. This guy is serious about it.
Imagine his shit though, after the amount of hype we've given him.
Oh no, but the thing is, the owners we have, anyone will do. Anyone will do. And Jim Ratcliffe, he might not be the best owner in the world, but you don't need to be the best owner in the world to own Manchester United. You could have just allowed
Manchester United to do its thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And he's came out before, because I remember, I think it was like 4 years ago, he did an interview for BBC maybe, and they asked him, would you buy Manchester United? And he said, they're not for sale. But I remember he also made a few comments about the club, and he just said about how badly it's run. He said, they've recruited really poorly, they're taking dividends out when the club's failing. This is not how you run a football club. So even just hearing that, you know he's going to be all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
you'd hope.
The thing is, like,
they all come in and say the right thing. It's actually delivering it that's the hard thing. Right, now, I'm going to take you to one that I actually think it could be. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about your balls. Here's a word of our sponsors. Welcome to Fresh Ball Fall. It's the season of pumpkins. Wait a minute. Fresh Ball Fall. It's autumn. Come up with something that rhymes with autumn. I'm not your man for that. Do better, Manscaped. Honestly, fall. It's a season of pumpkin spice, so make sure your crotch looks nice. That means sipping cider in a fall breeze. Fall again. Come on. Autumn breeze. Using Manscaped products to trim your balls with ease. I guess that rhymes. That's right. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, a company here to make sure that your foliage isn't the only thing shedding its excess leaves. Even Mother Nature knows that it's time to lose the excess clutter for fall. Fall again. Again with a fall. Join us 6 million men worldwide. 6 million men. Wowzers. Who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. All the details in the description. Go do it. What are you going to buy the man that's got everything? Ball trimmers. That's what you're going to do. Check out that. The link will be in the description. Keep your balls clean. Right. Here's who I actually think it could be.
Go on.
Like I said, I got no information on this. But this name and this group has come up multiple times. And it's actually no relation to Tony's, so it'd be just a pure coincidence. But that is Lord Jim O'Neill. So I don't know what it's about people called Jim that are interested in buying us. But so Jim O'Neill, he was part of the Red Knights. So you remember the Red Knights? Not the fucking Silent Knights. But the Red Knights, they were a group that actually, I believe, the first real sort of green and gold campaign came around about the same time as there was a lot of talk that these guys were trying to buy the club from the Glazers, around about 2010. Jim O'Neill was, I don't know if he was the figurehead or one of the most prominent people that was in that, but he was in that. He's from Manchester, lifelong United fan. He's an investment banker. He's a Goldman Sachs economist or analyst.
I think he used to be really high up in them.
Yeah.
In Goldman Sachs.
The Guardian have said his previous takeover failed due to internal division amongst the Red Knights, as well as the Glazers refusing to sell. So I think he could re-emerge. And I think he's probably a very serious potential candidate for this. Like I said, I have no insight on this. That's just my gut feeling from the fact that I know he's tried to do this in the past. So, you know, if he's got another consortium together, maybe involves some different characters than the first one, he might have a more successful run at it this time.
At least he's got a bit of experience as someone who's been involved in a consortium trying to buy Manchester United.
Well, yeah, so 12 years ago he tried to do
experience.
it. I think the fact that he's stuck around and continues to want to do it is probably a positive. I don't know anything else about him. I don't know what he would be like as an owner. I don't even know if he's ever spoken on record anywhere about it, so maybe that's something for us to look into. But that's Jim O'Neill. Then there was a guy that back in 2020, so a Russian-Israeli billionaire called Mikhail Prokarov, and he was supposedly looking to get back into sports ownership. Now, he owned the Brooklyn Nets. He's got about $9 billion to his name, not short of the rent. Made his money from stakes in Russian power, which might mean that he might not have access to that money at the moment with everything that's going on with Russia. He did run against Putin and he's still alive, so that's interesting. He did actually try and become Russia's president 10 years ago. In fact, he's got over 10 billion to his name. But 2 years ago, he actually was linked with trying to buy Manchester United. So I think he could be an outside one to maybe keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think like these are now names that we're talking about are people who would just be
they've at least tried to in the past.
Yeah, they'll be watching from afar and sort of think like they'll sort of be thinking, I could get involved with this. A consortium, do you know what I mean? These are people who you want in a consortium. I mean, Jim Ratcliffe and this Mikhail Prokarov guy.
Imagine it's both of them. Imagine it's
when
both.
you've got more than 10 bill
cash money.
You can buy the club on your own.
Yeah.
But then, like,
yeah,
they
want to mitigate the risk a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but you don't want to spend all your money on you. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to spend all of that on buying Manchester United. You might do.
Imagine buying the club and then going, "Oh, are you getting this round in? I got no fucking money, mate. I've just spent fucking $6 billion buying the club.
Oh.
You can get the beers in."
Yeah, and it literally.
But there was also some talk that this is going to be a fan ownership thing, which then would mean, you know, they spend a lot of money, but then there'd be money coming back to them as they distribute shares into fans if that's what happens.
It is just interesting because, like, we don't know a lot about what's going on. We hear about Jim Ratcliffe. You know, we've heard about this new consortium from Webby O'Neill, but it's when you actually have a look at who could potentially, if something starts to go, if there's a ball that starts to get rolling, who could potentially join on. It's actually interesting to look at these people because...
Well, that's why we did it today.
Exactly.
Because, you know, without just saying Jim Ratcliffe, like, Jim Ratcliffe might be a guy that's involved. He might be a part of one of these consortiums. It might be in a consortium with 2 or 3 more people on this. It might be Jim Ratcliffe and Conor McGregor for all we know. Like,
Do you know what I mean?
you have no way of knowing that's true or untrue. Like, you have no idea. But I think it's worth drilling into. The same way we did with Knighton when we was like, let's have a look at this guy. He's come out and said, I want to buy Manchester United. Okay, well, history suggests that you're a fucking terrible owner. So let's put that out there.
Thing is, with it's
The
like,
rest of these, we haven't really got
exactly
a hell of a lot of information on.
And like, I'm not saying they are, but some of these people might be people, especially the last couple, who might have been involved in some consortiums. If Michael Knighton had some truth in what he was saying, maybe he was chatting to some of these people. Maybe he was chatting to some of the old Red Knights. You never know. Maybe this new Webby O'Neill.
Well, Tony said it was nothing to do with
yeah,
this
or maybe that consortium that they were talking about involves a couple of these people.
Yeah.
These might be names that we might start hearing come out again. And it's interesting to look at.
And like I said,
them.
this isn't us claiming any inside info. It's literally
Exactly.
the opposite. It's us looking at, like, it's guesstimates. It's like people that have either shown interest in the past or they've got loads or, could just be a laugh like Conor McGregor. Now, the other one that we've got is the mystery Asian businessman. The mystery prize.
That's his name. That is his name, Mystery Asian Businessman.
So we've got the mystery prize of mystery Asian businessman. So back in 2017, there was a couple of articles, weren't there, about a mystery Chinese businessman that had inquired about buying Manchester United. Now that could be complete and utter rhubarb, because if someone's like, you need a fucking article by midnight because this is going to press, and you're like, oh, come on, going to do United, that's always good. Mystery Chinese businessman. What's he called? Don't worry about it.
Exactly. 4 paragraphs, no names, just vague stuff. That's your perfect get out of jail card.
Someone tried to buy United, wasn't successful.
Yeah. Thing is, look, China's obviously quite a closed shop. We don't hear a lot that comes out of China in like the higher business areas. So
serious
there might be
wealth
something
there.
going on. Yeah,
There's some serious amount of billionaires though.
and I think there's
United obviously
more.
massive.
I think there's more and more Chinese business involvement in European football. I am sure that there's people in China who will at least be thinking or just keeping an eye on what's going on at Manchester United. There has to be.
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so.
And then obviously you've got all the Emiratis, which, if it's a state thing, not necessarily a positive. But there's also a lot of wealthy individuals from the various Gulf states that are just fans.
I know.
This is what I hope. If it's, let's say it's a Bahraini or what's someone from Dubai called?
Dubanian. Don't know.
A fella from Dubai, or just someone from the Gulf that's just fucking wedged, right? If it's just a guy, it's not the same as the Qatari ownership in PSG or the UAE ownership in Manchester City. If it's just Keith,
Yeah.
probably a rare name in the Middle East, I imagine, but let's just say it's Keith from the Middle East. If it's Keith from the Middle East who's just got several billion that he's made in shipping and oil, there's no different in what he's doing to what Peter Lim or somebody else has done.
Yeah.
Like it's just a businessman.
Yeah.
That's a different flavour to states. What's going on with Newcastle, with City, with PSG.
I think you have to take each person and judge them as an individual rather than just be like, oh, they come from the Middle East. That means that they've probably made their money really dodgily. You've got to actually look into the person and make your judgments based on that.
Yeah, it's just if it's just a random guy that's just made a look, like it might be a property developer in Dubai. Like there's probably loads of people with hundreds of millions, if not billions, that just built skyscrapers in Dubai.
Yeah, you're spot
Perfectly valid, industry to be involved in. Made a shitload of money.
Yeah, but
well played.
So the Saudi owners in Newcastle, for example, like, what's the name of the ownership? The actual owner is it a person who's part of the government, or is it actually like
It's the Public Investment Fund.
the Public Investment Fund? Okay, so that's like obviously very strong links to the country.
It's literally the
Yeah,
fucking.
literally, it's the Public Investment Fund. Okay, it's interesting. It is very
I
interesting.
think I could be wrong on this. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the Qatari royal family that are the owners of PSG.
The Qatari royal
Directly.
family.
Yeah. I don't know if they have their own version of the Public Investment Fund. And then with Manchester City, it's is it Al Khaldoon, is it?
I think so.
And I think that's a consortium anyway. But it's all the same family, I think.
Yeah, it's a CFG, but imagine they bought us.
Haven't they got like 12 teams already or something
Yeah,
like
they
that?
just bought Palermo. But yeah, it's interesting. I think, look, I think if we're going to have to put our bets on whoever's going to be out of these people, it's Jim Ratcliffe, and that's where everyone's hope is. That's the actual one that there's it's gone quiet, but at least something's happening.
You hope.
We hope. Whether he's part of a consortium or whether he tries to buy it outright, he's the one that we've got to all get behind. But there's options, guys. There's options. If the Glazers want to sell the club, people will want to buy Manchester United. Simple as.
Right, I'm going to get some of the questions here. NCX says the Public Investment Fund are also one of the largest shareholders in Twitter. Are they now? Didn't know that.
Really?
With the meetings going on at Hotel Football, there must be Class of 92 links, even if Class of 92 players aren't directly involved. Peter Lim, maybe. I couldn't possibly comment. I have no idea. Maybe they're just meeting at Hotel Football because it's a prominent city centre.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a city centre, is it? But remember,
just
it's a
own the
prominent
hotel.
hotel in Manchester. Like, people think there's always nefarious shit going on. Like, I literally meet people there because it's an obvious place to meet people.
Isn't it? It's like if someone had
What
been
was
meeting
allegedly?
in McDonald's.
Apparently allegedly, but I don't know what allegedly.
Guys, allegedly. Man Tesla FC. Yeah, hopefully they don't change the name, but that's quite funny.
Stone420 says Howson's just pissed off McCullough and Jay didn't invite him to join them buying out United. Are McCullough and Jay buying it?
I mean, if they are, they've kept it quiet.
They have kept it quiet.
Lucky Singh says Dubai Emirates or Jim Ratcliffe bid. So I think what he's saying is that what would you prefer? Would you prefer Jim Ratcliffe or one of the kind of City, Newcastle, PSG owners?
No, I wouldn't want a state-owned
No, me neither.
Manchester United. No, and ultimately, I think I like what Tony was sort of saying on this current consortium in terms of how there's a plan to give something back to the fans in a way of doing it, because that's a very positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
How that works exactly, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
IR says, how many British billionaires can real estate buy the club? Here's the other thing, right? Personal wealth is not the same as the wealth that you've got access to through your businesses. So there might be a guy that's got 100 mil, like a Conor McGregor, almost, for example. Or someone British that's got a little bit of personal wealth. I say a little bit, like 100 million, just a few quid, right? But their businesses might be wildly successful with unbelievable amounts of credit, and then again, you don't know what the consortium's sort of depth is as well.
It's just like the bigger you get, the richer you get, the more you get access to, and like you said earlier, but with Conor McGregor, it's contacts as well. Contacts, just knowing people, being able to get people's numbers who have it just as much, if not way more money than you. I don't know, man. I just bare want Jim Ratcliffe to buy Man United. I just feel like the day it happens, if it happens, will just be the best day of my life. Do you feel like that?
I feel like I'd probably celebrate being bought out more than I would winning the league at the moment.
What's happening when Man United gets sold?
Oh, it's a fucking sausage rolls and Red Bull party,
Yeah?
for sure.
Here?
100 mile an hour.
Oh, my God. Can't wait. I cannot wait. I feel like it will. I mean, because I'm like 24, so watching United win and win.
You don't remember it. I remember it. During the Berlin Wall fell.
Nope.
Those parties was about
Very
a week
well.
long, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be better than when the Berlin Wall fell.
It's going to be more people there. It's going to be, I can't wait, because I just think it will just be so, like, almost relieving. Fans will feel like reborn. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, look, United at the minute are playing well. And it is good to get excited about what's going on. But you just know with the ownership and stuff, it could easily just fall off at any point. But this would be different. This will be like, we can actually really become the powerhouse club that we once were again.
Brian
and
Casey
so
says,
exciting.
Can you imagine the improvements to the training standard if Cristiano was involved in a consortium?
Mate, he's getting about 500,000 ice baths all next to each other, with 500,000 steam rooms all behind them.
It'd be very interesting if there was someone that was like a very high-performing athlete that was also banging to sports science, was involved somehow in the day-to-day running front office of a football club, to see what they could push it to.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be very beneficial for the players, because when you've got a player there like who's done it, and if it was someone like Ronaldo, who is arguably like the most professional footballer ever, like he's just going to drive standards up crazily.
Dare O'Connor says, cocaine party, you mean? No, that's if the cartel buy us, because we've got to put the funds back to the gaffer, you know what I'm saying?
It's Red Bull party.
Red Bull party, yeah.
It's gonna be manic.
Um,
David Beckham should be on this. Well, the thing is, they said in that Webby and O'Neill video that
no one,
yeah, and he's obviously a Salford owner.
Pretty big part of.
Exactly.
It'd be very interesting to see what eventually does happen with Salford. I always thought they were using them as like a little bit of a sandbox, almost like a little bit of a testing ground to eventually buy Manchester United. That was my instinct with them. And then obviously Beckham's gone and got what he's got going on in Inter Miami.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very interesting. I can't imagine that they've not, at least as the six of them have been round dinner, just tossed up, what if we bought them?
100%.
Because you put David Beckham at the front of it and go, right, who's going to get behind this man? Look at him, the fucking handsome bastard. Who's going to get behind him and buy Manchester United back? I think you'd have the money before you finish your sentence.
Yeah, and like Gary Neville will sort it out. He'll just sort it out. Do you know what he's like?
Yeah, busy.
Yeah, he'll just sort it out. He'll be like, yeah, I'll sort it out. And he'll sort it out.
So
Simple
yeah, I would love that.
Oh.
I'd love. I don't know if I'd love that equally, or if they did it and got Cantona as a CEO.
Well, there's a few more to join the consortium.
Anyway, I'm going to call it a day there. Cheers, Dre.
Yeah, nice to chat to you, Steve.
If you're in the mixer and in the area tomorrow, come down to Wythenshawe and watch the absolute best football you're going to watch this weekend, and that is a promise, a proper promise. If you want to come and watch the best football you'll watch this weekend, 3 p.m, free entry.
It's not 2 p.m.
No, it's 3 p.m. Well, it better be. Because we've only booked the pitch for free. So it better be 3 p.m. So cheers for tuning in. If you're interested in coming, see it on the socials. And make sure to go and check out Manscaped as well. Let's support the channel. So if you genuinely, if you're thinking, I don't know what to buy this fella in my life, what the hell do I buy him? Buy him some ball trimmers. I guarantee most people don't have them. And it's an absolute tap-in for what can I buy someone. You get 20% off and free shipping. So go and check it out in the description below. And we will see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.